Hello and welcome back to tutorial 130, and as promised in the last video, which if you've not seen, then please go to markplex.com, markplex.com, you'll be able to see it. What I've done is taken from that tutorial program all the legacy drawing tool type ways of drawing these linear regression channel lines. So let's have a look at the program. Essentially, if you remember the last program, we had both the plot way of achieving these linear regression channel lines, but I also left in the original legacy drawing tool way of doing it. And in this new program, the most noticeable thing that I've done is I have removed all the legacy drawing tools, so it's a far simpler program. But what I've also done is just tidied up the graph option 1. And if you remember, in the first program I had this system whereby the first time the lines were drawn, we set a flag to 1, and from there forward we would update the lines. Well, what I've done in this one is I don't think that was strictly necessary. It may have just saved a tiny bit of processing, but what I've done in this one is just for every bar we're plotting the lines, and then we're also plotting on the previous bar. And if you remember, I demonstrated you get this little tail appearing if you don't set this to transparent. So we do the same thing here. So if you want to check what I'm talking about there, you need to look at the previous video. So there's this program. Of course, graph option 2 is not available, as I also explained in the previous video, but this particular program, in other words, tutorial 130 only plots, is available at no cost to Gold Pass members. Otherwise, you can download it with the tutorial 130. So let's just look at the chart and just talk about some of the things here. Now you'll notice I've got this on a 53-second bar, and that's one of the advantages of using this plot way of doing things. Also, just to demonstrate, I've got here a 3-line break chart based on 600 tick bars, and you can see that the lines function perfectly well. But I think probably one of the main advantages of this is that whereas with using the drawing tools we had to set inputs, with this we can use the standard format indicator to decide whether we're going to use a certain thickness of line, a certain color of line. So just go through and change those a little bit and say OK, then you'll see that we get that line appearing in the new color. You'll also see that by using the plots, if we have a price axis showing that we're getting those current values of these lines appearing on the right hand side, which could be quite useful. Another nice thing is that if you did not wish to update this every tick, you could just click on that standard box there in the general tab, and you'll see now that this will only update at the end of the bar. So when the bar that's currently developing closes, then we will get the line updated. Another quite important thing, let me just change that back to update every tick, is that if you'll notice, we were able to very easily add the new levels. For example, we call this one high 2 and low 2. So what we essentially did is just copied the lines above, gave them a new plot number, also gave them a new name, and then for graph option 1 we had to do the same thing. Using the same name, we just set the plot to transparent for num bars ago. If you wanted to add another level, you could just very simply do that by, for example, copying plot 5. Let's just do that. And not going to include this in the download, but I think it probably makes it a little bit easier if I actually do it. And so let's say, for example, we're going to call this low 3. Let's just num devs down. Let's just make it equal to that plus that. You could make it equal to another input if you wanted to, which probably would be more useful. But in this case, just to avoid doing that, what I'm going to do is just set that to num devs down. And then, of course, we also need to create the transparent one. So I'm just going to copy the last one of those. We're doing it for plot 6. I need to make sure that this has the same name. So it's actually low 3. And I think that probably will have done it. So hopefully we will see that appearing on the chart. So not really, because it's dark blue. Let me just go in and update the color. So low 3 is currently dark blue. Let's just go and turn it into a nice pink. And while we're at it, let's just make it a nice thick line. And there you can see we've now got the mid and then 3 lines below. It's very easy to change. Not quite so easy when you're formatting the legacy drawing tools. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and remove that plot. So not to get any confusion. If you're interested in seeing other tutorials and programs, I'm going to put some links to the right of your screen, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. There is a logo for Markplex on the top left. If you click on that, you'll be able to subscribe, and then also please go to markplex.com and join our email list there for other materials like this one. And again, Gold Pass members can download this particular tutorial, tutorial 130 only plots, at no cost. Thank you.